Hello everyone, today we're going to continue 18.1 day 2, and that is angle, rotation, and radian measures. So we're going to actually introduce radian measures today, and we will be converting between degrees and radian measures. And let's take a look at some important concepts here. First, for a central angle, theta, remember theta is the symbol that we use to represent an angle that intercepts an arc of length s and a circle with radius r. The radian measures of the angle is given by the ratio s over r. On a unit circle, a circle centered at the origin with a radius of 1 unit, theta is actually equal to s. So 1 radian is the angle that intercepts an arc of length 1 on a unit circle. So basically, it's saying that this angle is represented by theta, and since this is the radius and that is also the radius, here from the length from here, the arc length s, from here to here is actually also equal to the radius. So if you chop up the circle, which has 360 degrees, into radians, remember radian is a new unit. It's kind of like between Fahrenheit and Celsius degree. So it's a unit, instead of degree, we are dealing with radian. And so if you actually look at the whole circle, it actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit. Well, why is that? Well, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. A full circle is actually equal to 2 pi, but that's basically what it is. And so 2 pi is actually in radian mode. So instead of saying a circle has 360 degrees, you can say that a circle has 2 pi radians. And so let's use the formula from above to take a look at why this makes sense. So if theta is equal to s over r, then we know the arc length s, where s represents the arc length and r is the radian. So if we take the entire circle, which is 360 degrees, divided by the radius, well, we also know that the entire circle is given by 2 pi radius. That's the circumference. Remember that formula? If we divide it by the radian, the radius will cancel out, and that leaves us 2 pi. And that's why we have the entire circle is equal to 2 pi. And so that's actually how radian is converted. And now let's take a actually look at other formulas that will tell you a little bit about between degrees and Celsius. So again, there are 360 degrees in a full circle. And since the circumference of a circle is given by 2 pi r, so here's just a review of what I summarized before. The number of radians in a full circle is 2 pi r divided by r, which is actually 2 pi. So therefore, 360 degrees is actually equal to 2 pi radians. So that's just another way to look at it. And if you actually do the math, 360 degrees equals to 2 pi divided by 2. So 1 degree is actually equal to pi over 180. And 1 radian, on the other way to look at it, is actually 180 divided by pi. So these are actually the two crucial formulas that we will use to convert between degrees and radius. So to summarize this, we're going to show you the table here. So to convert from degree to radians, we are going to multiply the degree by pi over 180. And then vice versa. To convert from radian to degrees, we are going to multiply the radian times 180 over pi. And we will show you how to do that in examples right now. And the answer that you get for converting degrees to radians, of course, is going to be radian, and then converting back will be in degrees. So let's take a look at the first example. Let's convert 160 degrees 2 radians. So again, based on the formula that we have, we're going to multiply the degree 160 times pi over 180. Notice that you can just easily use 160 ABC 180 button on your calculator and you'll get a reduced fraction, something like 8 over 9. So which means that you can reduce this into 8 and 9. So the answer will become 8 pi over 9. And this is usually how we write the radian mode. And let's try another one. Negative 140. Again, taking the degree times pi over 180. Again, if you take your calculator, so you should be using your calculator to follow along. 140 over 180, and then reduce that. Just press the equal sign, and it'll give you 7 over 9. And this is negative. So this is 7 and 9. And so the answer is negative 7 pi over 9. And that would be the radian conversion. And you can go ahead and pause the video at this time and try some problems on your own to convert these two. Hopefully you've had a chance to try it, and so we're going to actually convert 315 into radian by multiplying by pi over 180. And again, if you use the fraction button on your calculator, you should be able to convert that, and it should give you 7 and 4 right here. So it should be 7 pi over 4. And that is the radian equivalence. Negative 495 is the same thing, times pi over 180. Again, using the fraction to reduce it, you should get 11 and 4. So the answer is negative 11 pi over 4. And let's go ahead and take a look at the next example, which means to go vice versa, backwards. So we're going to convert from radian back to degree. So what is 7 pi over 4 in degrees? And so remember, the formula that helps you to convert back into degrees is to multiply by 180 over pi. Basically, you just need to think that the pi has to be on the bottom because it needs to cross cancel out. So the pi's will disappear. And this is going to give you 2 and 90, 2 and 40. So 40 times 7. Oh, actually, this is 45. 45 times 7 is 315 degrees. So this is the degree equivalence for 7 pi over 4. And let's try another one. Negative 2 pi over 5 times 180 over pi, again, to convert it back into degrees. And the pi's will cancel out. And I believe that, let me check, 180 divided by 5, that's going to be 36. Times that by 2, it'll give you negative 72 degrees. And that would be the equivalence. And let's take a look at the next two. So now it's an opportunity for you to try these two before you actually move on with the notes. So go ahead and pause and try it. Hopefully you've had a chance to try it. Let's take a look. 13 pi over 12 times 180 over pi. Again, cross cancel the pi's, and 180 divided by 12 is actually 15. So 15 times 13 gives you 195 degrees. And that is the answer. And negative pi over 2 times 180 over pi. Again, the pi's cancels out, and 2 goes into 180 90 times. So the answer is negative 90 degrees. So those are the answers for those two. Hopefully you got them correct. And let's take a look at the next one. Is a discussion question. It says, which is larger, a degree or a radian? So take a couple minutes to think about it on your own, to think to see which is actually bigger, a degree or a radian. Hopefully you've had a chance to talk about it. You can also call your friend to see, or your partner, to see if they have any idea. You can have a discussion with them. So here's how you can take a look. 1 radian, remember, is 180 divided by pi. And so that's actually 180 divided by 3.14, and that should give you about 57.3. But 1 degree is actually pi over 180, which is approximately 3.14 over 180, which is 0.017. So you can see that radian is a lot bigger than a degree. And I believe this is the end of day 2. Go ahead and get started with your assignment and follow the Google Classroom assignment, please. Have a great day, everyone. See you next time.